Well, good Monday morning to you, and welcome to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. I'm Jim Tabor, along with Doctors Jim and Janine Fox of Doctors Nutrition on Callan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. We're coming up on, what, 3 years?
It's coming up in July,
really?
I believe.
Wow, I'm like Jim. It's like, wow, really?
Yeah.
We've been doing this that
long? It was
long?
either the end of June or the beginning of July. I can't remember.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Been here for almost 3 years.
Which is almost...
letting you know how to live a healthier lifestyle, things that you can do.
Yeah.
That's right.
And a lot of them very simple things that you can do. And as much stuff that we've talked on, I think two of the main key things too.
Two? Okay.
Your diet
Yes?
Yeah, number one.
and sugar.
Well,
Cutting out
sugar,
Yeah.
that's part of the
Part
diet.
of the diet,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And staying active and, you
Yeah.
know, not being so sedentary. And like I said, but what you eat, you are what you eat. They've always said that, and that is true. You put junk in, you're going to feel like junk.
That's true.
I mean, that's true. And, you know, sugar is just on the rise, and people have eaten way more sugar when you go back and look in the 50s. I mean, the amount of sugar that they ate, the average American ate that time, and what they eat now is unbelievably
Yeah,
different.
because nowadays everything's got sugar in it, high
Right.
fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, whatever. And I mean, it's just not good for you. But that's not what we're talking about today. I just had to kick that off. Actually talking about things that you can do natural to replace over-the-counter
Anti-inflammatories.
anti-inflammatories.
Well, yeah, pain meds and stuff that people get over the counter. It's just like ibuprofen. You know, people don't realize. I mean, occasional use of ibuprofen, that's one thing. But what we see is people that are using something like that every day, multiple times a day.
And in the last couple of weeks, the reason we decided to do this show is in the last couple of weeks on every main news channel.
Yes.
I mean, every main news channel. They talked, the headlines was how the NSAIDs, which is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory medications, and they were talking about all the over-the-counter ones that people are taking, it increases heart attack risk by 31%.
Or more.
Or more.
Yeah, depending on.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, it's really kind of, you know, and what people are taking that for, like you said, just for routine stuff, you know, headaches and so on. And there's a lot of alternatives.
A lot of
for
natural
headaches.
alternatives. But even the research that was saying that recently, they've been saying it for 10 years. Really, when you go back, the information has been out there for a long time. It's just when it don't hit the mainstream, you know, news, people
Right.
don't really hear about it. So it's not just one study that has shown this.
No,
it's been
it's
5
multiple.
years ago there were studies, 10 years ago there were studies. They're all saying the same thing. And a lot of times people don't think about that. Well, if it's over the counter, it must be safe.
Well, what about these things when they tell you that, okay, certain thing, ibuprofen, two every 4 hours kind of thing for, you know, but then you've got those that take, you know, one a day, one every 12 hours. Oh, take this one. I mean, it lasts all day long.
Well, really the research was saying any of the NSAIDs, which is any of the naproxen,
any of them, yeah.
ibuprofen, any of those that are in the class of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, was one of the things that was saying that it increases risk of heart attack. And especially if you're a heart patient. I mean, if you're already a heart patient and you know you have an increased risk anyway, or your whole family has a history of cardiac risk, you may want to find an alternative to those over-the-counter NSAIDs.
Well, that's the thing, you know, because like I say, so many people out there at risk, and frankly, a lot of you don't know it. You haven't paid attention to it, you know, and we have this kind of mentality in America that, well, I'm okay, so I'll ignore it until, you know, something big happens. But usually when something big happens, it's really big, and it could be, you know, life-threatening.
Right.
So that's why we think it's a good idea to talk to people. Because everybody that comes in our store, you know, we talk to them. If they come in and they sit down and talk to us, and they're taking something like that, we'll try to point them towards something that's a little bit better, you know, something that instead of having negative consequences, how about something that has some positive consequences? Like, say, for instance, the bromelain, which is a good anti-inflammatory. It comes from pineapple, okay?
So take it every day. Take it every day.
Yeah, it's an enzyme
Yeah.
that comes from pineapple, but the enzyme itself eats up inflammation.
But whereas you look at some of these over-the-counter NSAIDs, they block more than one pathway of that inflammation circuit. And because our inflammation circuit or system, if you will, is very complex. And some parts of it's really good for certain things. And some parts of it, yeah, it causes a little pain and discomfort and so on. And when you look at like bromelain, it's only going to affect part of it, whereas something like maybe ibuprofen or relief, it's going to affect a lot of different systems of it, parts of that inflammatory pathway. And it just causes, some of them cause a lot of problems. That's why it decreases the risk for the heart attack and so on.
And another thing that, I mean, you know, the research recently has been more on the heart attack risk, but we've known for years and years and years that a lot of the NSAIDs affect the kidneys.
Yes.
And so kidney patients have always been told not to take it. So it's just something that's just another factor. You know, really what's recent, they were just looking at heart attacks. I mean, they weren't even just looking at heart problems, they were looking at heart attacks. Sudden cardiac death is what they were looking at, as if it stopped the heart. And so it really is kind of scary
But what
that
about,
it can do that.
what about, you know, for those with cardiac risk, taking that 81 milligram baby aspirin every day?
Aspirin doesn't seem to have as many of the
Because-
negative
because I
consequences.
take one.
Right.
Yeah, every night before I go to bed,
we specifically looked at the research to see if aspirin was included, and it was not. I mean, they did not mention aspirin on that study. I can't guarantee there's nothing out there, but you know, they do know that aspirin thins the blood some.
It keeps the platelets from clocking together, which is a big problem, you know.
Because if you get, you know, the platelets sticking together, you're going to have more likelihood of having a heart attack. So aspirin has been shown more, you know, beneficial in some cases. Now, I mean, some people can't take it, and that's a different story. But like I said, it was not listed on the recent research.
Right, right. All right, our phone lines are 896-0713 and 800-349-0713. A caller asked, what's a natural treatment for
Antiphospholipid syndrome.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
On antiphospholipid syndrome, you've got to thin the blood. I mean, so you would say things that are natural blood thinners.
Baby aspirin.
Yeah, well, that's not natural. I mean,
natural, I'm sorry.
I mean, they're asking for a natural treatment.
Now, willow bark
White willow bark is your natural aspirin. It contains salicylates, which is what is in aspirin that makes it work. And it comes from the bark of a tree.
Willow tree.
There is a natural alternative. Now, a lot of times they'll use even stronger blood thinners in that case as well. So you got to look at, you know, bromelain, nattokinase
is a biggie.
we use those too a lot of times to think. Yes, exactly. Natto Advantage. You take that too.
I take that too.
He takes a lot.
I do, and I will say, hey, look, you know, I know we're about to go to break, but I say that, you know, a few years ago when we first started doing this show, went through the blood work and everything, and of course the doctors put me on a regimen of some different supplements, and I have felt great. I really have. You know, I rarely ever get a headache. I was in a car accident, a lot of people know, a couple of weeks ago, got broadsided, and one of the things that the doctor asked me every day, having any headaches? No, I'm not having any headaches at all. I rarely have a headache.
Right.
And that's good.
For anything. So,
but the bromelain and natto we do use for increasing circulation and decreasing.
And I take it every day.
Decreasing the likelihood of forming a little clot, which you have had in the past, TIAs, which you've said.
Yeah, I had one TIA.
Outward, so
sure
we
did.
know that's why we put you on it.
Yep.
And so it's actually a good thing to keep you from forming those little clots.
All right.
And it also helps the headaches.
Yep.
896-0713, 800-349-0713. You have a question for the doctors, please give us a call. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our Monday morning live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. Live healthy, be healthy. I'm Jim Tabor, along with Drs. Jim and Janine Fox and Doctors Nutrition. They're on Cowan Road in Gulfport, south of Pass Road, right across the street from the old Kmart Garden Center. They're open 10 to 5:30 Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 on Saturdays. And Jim and Janine are there every Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. And Dr. Bull is there 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday.
We're slave drivers.
Yep. Okay, we've got Wilma on the phone. Good morning, Wilma. You have a question for the doctors?
Yes, I have migraine headaches real bad, and I have trouble with my back, go down in my hip.
Okay.
And I take, I'm a heart patient. And I take Mosin, I take Tylenol, and just anything I can go to, you know, the dollar store to get.
Right.
Is that good to me to take like that?
Well, just like we were just talking about, the new research actually shows that a lot of those over-the-counter pain medications increase heart attack risk. So there might be something you want to try an alternative to actually help. Now, we were fixing to get into individual problems and what's the best thing for them, and migraine headaches was one of the things we were going to talk about.
No, that's probably one of our first ones.
Right. Migraine headaches, one of the things that we have something called Migranol, and it has something called feverfew, which does have an anti-inflammatory effect, but it's a preventative of migraine. You don't wait until you have a migraine, you take it every day. So that is something that you can do naturally, and even magnesium. if you have migraine headaches.
I would say
now,
magnesium
Migranol
is pretty
has
simple, yeah.
magnesium in it, but magnesium itself definitely helps migraine headaches, and it's also a muscle relaxer, so it can even help with some of those muscle spasms.
And actually, Wilma, the magnesium itself is used, Europeans use magnesium medically for heart patients a lot.
Yes, and they actually use it for if you go into the hospital with a migraine headache, that's usually the first thing they do in Europe is give you magnesium.
Yeah, they give you
so
an IV
that's
of it.
something that's very simple that you can do. Now for the back pain, because there's a little bit different, what helps migraines may not actually help back pain. We have something called Phyto 4. Does
Really good
work
stuff.
really good for back pain, and it has an ingredient. It's from hops extract, or perluxin is the patented.
It's actually a patented
product. And it is fast acting, kind of like ibuprofen, but without the side effects of ibuprofen.
But it does block that pain receptor, though, so it does give you some good
Yeah.
relief from some of the pain. I think, Jim, you take it, or
Kim
your
takes
wife,
it.
your-
Kim
his
takes
wife
it, okay.
takes
Yeah, she takes it because she's always working, you know, her arms and everything.
Repetitive
but,
motion
what
stuff,
she does,
right.
yeah, exactly.
So there
she
are
takes
things
it.
that
It's
you
great.
can
She loves
do
it.
that are alternatives that may be better for your heart.
Yeah.
And it might actually
Yep.
protect that heart.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you,
you.
Wilma.
Thank you, Wilma.
Appreciate your call.
Yeah.
896-0713, 800-349-0713. Paula from Pearlington asked, what is your opinion of orange juice with probiotics? They are advertising them a lot.
Actually, a lot of the research shows that orange juice is just about as bad as drinking Coke because of the
Yep.
amount of sugar that's in it. So we don't suggest people actually drinking orange juice. I say eat an orange, but when you do the orange juice itself, if you think about it, it might take 5 or 6 oranges to
Oh,
make
yeah.
one glass, and you're getting a lot of sugar. To where probiotics, just take probiotics. Don't worry about the orange juice with probiotics because it's going to have very little in there anyway.
Actually, something better for you if you're taking your probiotics is to eat some avocado
Right.
because of the fiber. They've got a type of fiber in them that's called soluble, and that soluble fiber is actually better as a quote-unquote prebiotic than anything.
Yeah, but juice is just so high in
Yeah.
sugar, all kind of juices, not just orange juice, but juice itself. Everybody has thought over the years, oh, juice is so good for you. Well, not necessarily, because it's really just a bunch of sugar, and it takes out all the fiber from the fruit.
True.
Yeah, so eat your fruit, don't drink it.
All right. Thank you for the question. Betty from Gulfport on the phone with us. Good morning, Betty. What's your question for the doctors?
My question is, can you take lisinopril with magnesium?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of
And
people that's come in with lisinopril because they take it for the blood pressure. And the only time you would not want to take magnesium and lisinopril together, it's not really the two together, it's just if you're a kidney patient, we don't recommend magnesium. And a lot of people that are kidney patients are taking lisinopril because it protects the kidneys, and we don't recommend magnesium for kidney patients.
You really have to watch
Yeah.
that magnesium level with a kidney patient.
Okay. I'm not a kidney patient.
Okay, if you're not a
Thank
kidney
you all
patient,
very
Okay,
you should
well,
be
you're good
okay
to
then.
All right. Thank you very much for the call, Betty. 896-0713, 800-349-0713, 349-0713.
You just
It's
forgot.
Monday. It's Monday.
Flo from Moss Point is on the phone with us now. Good morning, Flo. What's your question for the doctors?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My question is, what's the alternative for sinus infection? I have sinus really bad, and it's blocked in my head all the time. And I'm either taking the solution with the saline, or I'm taking pills over the counter.
Okay.
But my sinus still bothers me really, really bad. It's stuffed up in my head and in my cheeks.
Okay.
Is there a natural alternative for that?
There is. Now, is your sinus problem due to allergies or not?
I don't know.
Most likely.
Most likely. Is it worse right now?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
I just got through holding my head over a pot of hot water.
Okay, I was fixing to say it probably is due to allergies because right now the
They're
pollen's
full
everywhere.
bloom, right?
What we use, we have a couple different things for allergies that really help. One's called Aller 7 Plus and the other one's called Allergena. The Allergena is like a homeopathic that desensitizes you to all the plants and flowers in the area. And then the Aller 7 is more just like your natural antihistamines. If somebody actually has, where it's actually getting infected, we use the olive leaf extract and even probiotics. So we have a lot of different things, but we deal with a lot of people that have sinus problems because of the area that we live in. So if you come by, we'll show you what we have, and I think we could probably help you with that.
Yeah, the Allergena is really great stuff
does.
because you take it, it's a little dropper thing, and you put it under your tongue and hold it, and it absorbs in your body a lot faster that way.
We've
So
had a
I've
few
used
people
it.
that
It's good.
actually have asthma that were in the store and couldn't even breathe, and they were getting some, so I open it and put it in their mouth, and they can almost tell before they leave. So it's a big difference.
Sure is.
that is most helpful for me, and I will be in to see you
Okay.
Wednesday morning.
Okay. You can talk to Dr. Bull. We aren't there on Wednesdays, but Dr. Bull is.
And they open at
No,
10
no.
o'clock.
What days are you there?
We're there Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday.
I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Sounds
okay.
good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wonderful. 896-0713 or 800-349-0713. Got about a minute left in this break. Pamela from Biloxi. Good morning, Pamela. What's your question?
Yes, sir. I have chronic Charlie horses in my leg, and I suffer with chronic Charlie horses.
Okay.
I get them all the time, and I wonder what can I take.
Typically, that's most of the time, Pamela, that's some sort of mineral. It could be potassium, it could be magnesium.
It can even be sodium,
Could
but
even
I
be
mean,
sodium.
what we always do is do the lab work, or if you have lab work, bring it in and we'll look at it for you to see if it's any of the minerals that, and even magnesium that we talked about can
Magnesium's a biggie.
do that too. So we have a multi-mineral called Mega Mineral, and it is one of the things that we use just to, if somebody just wants to try, say, what can I try without lab work, it would be the Mega Mineral.
Right.
Now, we also say people with back problems tend to have a lot of Charlie horses too, so it depends on if it's coming from your back or not. Do you have a back problem?
Yes, I have problem in my top part of my spine.
Okay, I mean, it's possible that it's coming from that, or like I said, the minerals are always a big issue. We
Can't go
find
wrong
that
with
people can't
minerals,
believe
yeah.
how much better they are with that. We even have something called muscle cramp and tension formula, but if you look at what's in it, it's minerals as well. So minerals play a huge role in those Charlie horses, and we could know better which one if we had lab work on you, if you brought your lab work in, or even do lab work with us.
Yes, ma'am. I had lab work done and all, and it just all my potassium and everything was up to level.
Okay.
I just don't know what she caused me having chronic.
Like I said,
Charlie horses.
bring it into us and let us look at the whole thing, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay?
All right. Thanks for your
Thank
call,
you.
Pamela. All right. We'll be right back with our final break in this week's special. And welcome back to our final segment this morning of our Monday Morning Live edition of Healthy Living South Mississippi. This week's special, of course, is a couple of good things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, what else? You know, we've been talking about something like that bromelain, like you take.
It's
and
spelled a little wrong up there,
Bromelain,
but
yeah.
they forgot
that
the
first
M, but
L,
that's
yeah.
okay. You get the idea. Bromelain, okay. And then Phyto-4, now that's the one that Janine mentioned, and I think you said Kim takes
Yeah,
it.
Kim takes it. We both take the bromelain.
Yeah.
And she takes the Phyto-4.
But that Phyto-4's got that, it's an extract of hops. Okay, so drinking beer doesn't do it. It's a special extract, but this stuff's called perluxin, and they've actually got a patent on it.
But it also has your curcumins, and it
Right.
also has ginger, and it
And
also has
boswellia.
boswellia, which is actually why it's called
Yeah.
Phyto-4, because it's 4 different herbs together that are all anti-inflammatories.
Right, but it really does help with the pain.
Right.
I mean, we've had some people that were taking some fairly serious
Yeah.
pain meds, and
then we
able to get off that.
We even have another one called Phyto Ultra Comfort,
Yeah.
and it actually has your white willow bark, but some people can't take even the natural aspirin-like compounds. So, but if you can, it is more for pain as well. Now, there are so many things in natural medicine that are anti-inflammatories.
Oh, Lord, yeah.
The curcumins are really good, and we even have a curcuma veil, which is a very strong extract of curcumin by itself. And curcumins have so much research. Like he said, the natural anti-inflammatories also have other benefits, like cancer prevention. I mean, so boswellia does that, curcumins do that, and even fish oil. Fish oil is a
true.
great anti-inflammatory. So and we know that's good for the heart.
Omega-3s.
Yeah, the
Exactly.
omega-3s,
So
right. Mhm.
there's so many natural anti-inflammatories that we could talk all day on natural anti-inflammatories.
Actually, a lot of your natural compounds, the way they work is
Through
some sort
inflammation.
of blocking some sort of inflammatory pathway. So they're all.
And they can
pretty much
actually help, and if it's something like arthritis, now something more like Pernimax might be a better choice. So depending on what type of pain it is and why you're taking the over-the-counter anti-inflammatory,
Exactly.
we might be able to help you with what might be the best replacement. Because like I said, if it's migraine headaches, it would be a little bit different than if it was arthritis. If you have muscle pain, it's a little bit different than joint pain. If it's, so I just tell people.
Yeah, and the Pernimax is great for the joint pain, because,
Oh, yeah.
especially when
It
you
is.
get a little bit up there in years,
Right.
like
Mature.
yours
And the good
truly,
thing about Pernimax
because I
is
take it mature,
it
because I
doesn't
take it every day.
just help with inflammation, it stops further degeneration, is what research shows, to where your ibuprofen don't do that anyway.
No.
So it has a lot of good effects, and people don't even think out there that they need to look for an alternative to some of the over-the-counter medications. So we just wanted to let everybody know today, especially with all that coming out in the news, that there are alternatives. And we never charge for consultation, never charge to talk to you. So if you want to know what might be the best replacement for you, the best thing to do is to come by and talk to us.
And you don't need an appointment. You might have to wait a few minutes, but the fact that they have 3 doctors there, plus the rest of the staff are so very helpful and very knowledgeable.
They're very knowledgeable.
Of everything that you need.
But with 3 of us there now, it's actually much better, and you don't wait as long or any of that good stuff.
You're going to have to knock out another wall here soon.
We've thought about it.
Expand it out over there a little bit too. So, but anyway, got a few minutes left. So 8960713, 800-3490713. If you have a quick question for the doctors regarding today's topic or anything in particular regarding your health, because that's what this whole show is about, is trying to help you live a healthier, better lifestyle. And so much of it, of course, begins with changing it.
Right. And a few things we haven't talked about is, food, which no doubt there are inflammatory foods. Sugar is one of them, like we talked about at the very beginning. And there's even a group of plants called the nightshade plants that are known to increase inflammation. Now, some of them are actually okay for you if you don't have an inflammatory process, but like tomatoes, love them, do eat them, but if you have a bunch of inflammation, you may want to give up tomatoes, potatoes, eggplant, and peppers. That is actually considered nightshades, which are very inflammatory. And then, stuff like your garlic is really good, and your onions are really good. And of course, ginger. We talked about ginger being in products. If you cook with ginger, cook with turmeric, cook with some of the spices and stuff actually have anti-inflammatory properties.
And you can buy the fresh ginger and everything. You can get that, in the natural food section of a lot of your
You see all those little roots. You just shave it off. But that actually has a lot of, and even doing ginger tea. So there's a lot of things that you can do
digestion too.
because inflammation, they know, is one of the biggest starts of diseases. And unfortunately, some of the over-the-counter anti-inflammatories cause other problems. So you have to look at what
especially when you start taking too many of them. I mean, they'll start taking some gastro problems.
Like he said at the beginning of the show, an occasional use is not what they were looking at. They were looking at chronic, all the time use. I mean, if you do it occasionally, that probably doesn't do it.
They probably keep a bottle of it in your purse or in your pocket or something like that, and you take them throughout the day or on your desk.
It's that problem when that person gets up in the morning and takes it, and then they take it later in the day. They take it every day. That's what causes the problem, is that repetitive use. And over a period of time, if you start, interfering with some of the normal pathways or some of the normal physiology in our body, like they do, then that's going to set you up for that thing, like an increased risk of heart attack and so on. And we've got enough problems out there as it is. We don't need to add to it. We want to do things that'll kind of prevent some things like that. And Janine mentioned some of the foods that can, food sensitivity. A lot of folks, what we see with food sensitivity.
One of the best things that when they're in season, not very often, black cherries.
Oh yeah.
Black cherry is great anti-inflammatory, and we even have black cherry fruit capsules where they actually take the extract, and you can actually, and we use it a lot for gout specifically, but it is good for any inflammation.
We have a lot of people that will buy, especially the gout guys that have the gout and they know it. Okay, it's going to cause a problem. They can, if they buy them when they're in season, freeze them. And then they can have like 4 or 5, maybe 6 per day. Doesn't take a lot, and really
But real
helps.
black cherries, a huge difference. I always say when I eat them when they're in season, I can tell a difference in just even in my joints. It's really, there's a lot of foods you can do, but you want real food. Go to a real food diet. Packaged processed foods, worst thing you can do for inflammation.
Yeah, you got to get rid of those.
Yeah.
So, what are we talking about next week?
Open line.
Open line Monday. That's
right.
Whatever you want.
March is gone.
I know.
Wow. Kim and I were talking about that yesterday.
A fourth of the year is gone.
Christmas shopping right around the corner.
My fractions were getting off.
Oh boy.
A fourth of the year is gone already.
Okay, so it's Open Line Monday next week, so you can call in and ask questions about anything in particular when it comes to your health and living a healthier lifestyle. We appreciate you being with us, and of course they are open Monday through Friday from 10 to 5:30, Saturdays 11 to 2. They're located on Cowan Road in Gulfport, just south of Pass Road. Have a great week.